Are you desiring more out of life? More love, more connection, more experience, just more aliveness? Well, that is your soul calling you, and together we are going to uncover those soul desires and help you bridge the gap between your physical life and your true soul self. Welcome to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. My name is Emilee. I'm an intuitive, a psychic medium, and someone who recently and very suddenly awakened to spirituality. On this podcast, we are going to talk all about connecting with your soul to live your fullest, most beautiful life. We're going to talk about spirituality from the perspective of the everyday person. It's my goal that you feel seen and supported on this journey of discovering your soul and awakening to the incredible world of spirit. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. This is Emilee, your host. I'm so excited that you're here for another episode. How exciting is this? Today, what we're talking about is how to improve your relationships with literally anyone in your life. And that's a pretty big topic, but I'm going to break it down and make it super, super simple because I was shown in a very recent reading that I did for a client just how important our role is in a relationship with a partner, with our family, with our kids, with our friends, literally every relationship. It was this beautiful vision I saw that really made it clear to me what we need to do in order to have the kind of relationships that we want in our life. And the message was for this client of mine, and I'm only going to share just this. It was such a small part of the beautiful message that came through for her, but it was for her, but Spirit was like, this is for you too, Emilee. And the message I think is so universal that I really want to share it with all of you too, because I think it can make a big difference in how you view your relationships, your role in your relationships. And I know that if you are like me, you're always looking to be a better mother, a better partner, a better friend, a better child. Like you are looking to be the best person that you can be. That's probably why you're on a spiritual path, why you're listening to a spiritual podcast, because you are looking to improve yourself and improve your experience of the world. And so this message I'm going to share is right along the lines with that. Before we get into today's message, I just want to say hi. I'm Emilee again. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to have you here, and I really hope that you get something out of this episode. Every time before I record, I spend some time getting quiet, connecting with spirit, connecting with my spirit team. And I set the intention that this episode will touch your heart. I set the intention that something I say will speak to you, not just to earth you, but to your soul, that'll speak to your soul, that'll spark something within you to help light you up and help you move closer to connecting with your true self, with your soul self, and help to bring you closer to living your life from that soul place. I really think that that is our purpose on this earth, is to live from a more soul-aligned place, to continue learning and growing internally, and then using those things we've learned to create the most beautiful life externally. And so with this episode, with every episode, it is always my intention to help you move forward toward your best possible life. And I really hope that something in here speaks straight to your heart, that it's actionable for you, that it gives you something to think about, and maybe a new perspective for how you exist in the world. If you're a returning listener, hey, I'm so excited that you're here for another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in again. I love that we're becoming spiritual BFFs, and just thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you to keep coming back for more. That is amazing. So let's get into our content for today. Like I said, today we're talking about relationships. We're talking about spirituality in relationships, and we're talking how we can be our best selves in a relationship in order to improve that relationship, in order to thrive in that relationship, in order to feel really, really good in that relationship. And this topic came to me through a vision I had while doing a reading for a client recently. And the vision was so beautiful. And there's just this one little part of that vision that I want to share with you, because it's this tiny message, like one sentence, but it is also like huge meaning behind it. So I'm going to share the vision, and then we're going to unpack all of the meaning behind that. And so this vision that I had recently while doing this reading, the person I was doing the reading for, she was asking for some guidance in terms of her family. She wanted to know like how she could improve her relationships within her family. And there were some more in-depth questions, but that's the gist of it. That's the gist of it. She wanted to know how she could improve these family relationships. And through the vision, we saw all these different kinds of ways to improve the relationship, but the main thing, the main vision was I saw her like her outline of her body, and inside of her was this beautiful light, this beautiful bright light right at her heart. It was her soul shining, shining, shining. And what I saw that soul shining inside of her. And as she connected more with her soul, with her true self, that shining started flowing through her whole body. It started going outside her body. And what I saw was she became this beautiful being of light, shining, full of love, and she became like this beacon. The words that came to me in the vision and what I saw is that through her light, through her loving herself so deeply and being so connected with her soul and showing her soul on the outside, living from that soul place, that she started to illuminate a path for her family. She became sort of like this lantern on a path because she was lit up, because she was living in her truest, fullest expression. A light illuminated a potential path for other people in her family. It's like her being lit up this path that some of her family members didn't even know existed. And it was so beautiful because it was this deep message that in order to help out our family, anyone we're in a relationship with, what we actually need to do is go inward and learn to connect with ourselves, to shine, to love ourselves, to trust our soul, and to live from that soul place. And as we get lit up, become illuminated, we actually don't need to do anything. All we need to do is be ourselves. We just need to be. And by being ourselves, being that light, we're helping other people. It's just naturally happening. We're naturally helping the ones that we love just by being lit up. Just by being lit up, she was illuminating all of these paths, these beautiful potential paths for her family that they were not able to see. They weren't at the same point as her where she is like connecting with her soul. She is the leader of light for her family. And just by living from that light, she is showing them a new way to live. She is showing them another option. She is showing them a different way of being that they were unaware of. And it's not that she had to teach them. It's not that she had to like sit them down and say, like, this is the way you need to be. This is what you need to do. She didn't have to do any of that. All that Spirit was guiding her to do was be more of herself. And that's it. And it was, for me, it was this like light bulb moment that the only thing I need to do in my relationships is to be myself and to allow myself to be myself. How simple is that? But how beautiful is it that by leaning more into who we are, we can have an incredible impact on the people around us. Like, it sounds too simple, doesn't it? It sounds too simple. It sounds like, no, we need to go fix things. That's what I always think. I need to go fix things. I need to change how these other people are acting. I need to make things better. I need to control this. But Spirit was showing me we don't need to control what's going on around us. We don't need to try to control the people around us. And if we see ways that they can better their lives, it's like, we don't have to go fix that. We just have to be the light. We just have to be this beacon. And as we love ourselves more, it's sort of like what's the word? Like a side effect of loving ourselves more, of leaning into our own soul more. It's like this side effect, this other thing that just is naturally happening is that we're lifting up the people around us. Not by anything we do for them, just by who we're being. And how incredible is that? Oh, it was just so incredible and enlightening for me. And I just think that's a message that everybody probably needs to hear. So I want to break down this vision. I want to break down the different parts of it and really let's go a little deep with what exactly this means. So the first part of this vision is about being the light. It's about enhancing that light that is already within you. Let's talk about what that means. When I say being the light, and when I see that beautiful ball of light inside someone's chest, right inside their heart, that's where I see it in my visions, in my meditation. When I see that, that is their soul. That is the most pure, beautiful part of you, the most true part of you. It is the part of you that exists without any fear, without any shame, without any guilt. It is the truest part of your being. And when we talk about being the light, what we're talking about is really leaning into that pure, beautiful, bright part of us, that true part of who we really are. It means living from a soul-centered place. And in order to live from our soul, what we have to do in order to connect more deeply is to take care of ourselves. We have to practice taking care of ourselves. We have to practice loving ourselves. We have to allow ourselves to feel joy, allow ourselves to feel love, because in order to grow that connection with our soul, we have to take care of our soul. We have to take care of ourselves. And I talked about this a few episodes ago when we talked about blocks between you and connecting with your soul. And one of the things that really keeps us from connecting with our soul is not taking the time to actually listen to what we want, listen to what we like, and not taking the time to take actions on those things, because your soul wants to experience the world. Your soul wants to experience the things that bring you joy, the things that make you feel loved. Your soul wants you to feel supported and cared for. And so, in order to grow this light within you, you have got to do those things. You have got to take the time to truly care for yourself, to learn to love yourself deeper. Being a light means that your soul, who you truly are, is shining outwardly for the world to see, for others to see. And it's incredible and it's joy filled and it's beautiful. In order to be a light, you have to love yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to spend the time to get to know yourself. And when we think of this in terms of relationships, I know for me, and I'm sure for other people, sometimes we can worry that we're being a little bit selfish, focusing so much on ourselves. There are a lot of beliefs and barriers that come up when we try to shine from our soul, when we try to really shine out for who we truly are. And for me, and I think for probably a lot of women, we were taught, whether explicitly or implicitly, we were taught the importance of being humble. We were taught to put others' needs first. And doing that can really lead to neglecting ourselves, to neglecting what we want, what we need in order to make sure everyone around us feels comfortable and feels taken care of and feels loved and supported. We can get so focused on making sure everyone around us is feeling those things that we forget that we need that too. And we can also sometimes forget that it is our responsibility to create those feelings within ourselves. It is no one else's responsibility to make sure we feel loved. It's no one else's responsibility to make sure that we feel taken care of, that we feel supported. It is our responsibility to create those feelings. And the way that we do that is by loving ourselves, by supporting ourselves. And the power behind creating those feelings for ourselves means we're not dependent on someone else. We know how to take care of ourselves. We know how to love ourselves, and we can stand strong. We can stand as a strong light because we're not waiting for someone else to fix our problems. We're not waiting for someone else to love us in order to feel loved. We do not have to do that. We can love ourselves and start feeling that love within us, whether we think we have people around us who love us or not. Of course, that's like amazing and beautiful, and we all want that. But I'm just saying, we can feel that regardless. We can feel that within regardless. We don't have to rely on other people. And when we're living from that light, when we're shining that light, when we're loving ourselves, when we're taking care of ourselves, we are so much happier. So much happier when we're depleted and run down from caring about everyone except for us. We're not very fun to be around. I'm not very fun to be around. I'm stressy. I yell more. I argue more. I'm whiny when I don't feel taken care of. But when I choose to do the things that make me feel good and supported and loved and happy, guess what? I am so pleasant to be around. I am so much happier. And when we choose to take time for ourselves, that really leads us to that happiness and that joy that we want. And that matters. That really, really matters. Not only does it matter to our own mental health and our own experience of this lifetime, but it matters so deeply in our relationships, because happy moms are more patient with their children. Happy spouses are more giving and understanding to their partners. Happy friends are more supportive and encouraging in their friendships. Happy people are just better to be around than angry, grumpy people, right? Who would you rather spend time with? Someone who is happy because they feel cared for and supported and loved because they've taken the time to make sure that they have those things in their life, or someone who is angry and mad at everyone else, who's blaming everyone else for their problems, who is just difficult to be around because they haven't found that autonomy. They haven't found that internal confidence. They're not allowing themselves to be valued. They're not valuing themselves. And it's not just about being happy all the time, because we're people living in a people world and it's impossible to be happy all the time. I'm not saying that you need to be happy and smiling all the time. It's not realistic. But what I am saying, what this is about, it's about becoming more solid, more steady, more satisfied with life overall. It's an overarching feeling of joy and happiness. You don't have to feel happy in every moment. You don't have to stub your toe and say, I'm filled with joy. Like, no, be frustrated about that. It's fine. But I am saying the overarching feeling in our lives that we want to create and we can create for ourselves is happiness, is satisfaction, is being cared for, is being supported, and we can do that for ourselves. As we do that, we become the light. That is becoming the light. Because when we choose to care for ourselves, we're choosing to value ourselves. We're choosing self-respect. We're choosing to honor ourselves. And we're choosing to be secure in who we are and how we choose to experience the world. And as we allow ourselves to connect with our joy, connect with the things that make us happy, that things that make you you, as we allow ourselves to do those things, whether for you it's gardening or painting or sewing, or maybe it's going for walks or running or some kind of exercise you love. Maybe for you, it is cooking delicious food. Maybe it's travel, whatever it is that makes your heart sing. The thing that makes you forget time. The thing that you do and suddenly 6 hours have passed and you're like, oh my God, where has my day gone? Like when you're laughing with friends and all of a sudden it's the middle of the night and you're like, how did this time pass so quickly? Those are things that light you up. Those are things that connect you more deeply with your soul, and they are so important. They're so important. They're so important for you and your experience of the world. And improving your experience of the world of this lifetime will naturally improve all of your relationships, just naturally, because you are being the light. You're lit up. You're magnetic. And being in that state is incredible for you, but it's also incredible for everyone around you. It lifts everyone around you up. So that's the first part of the vision. The first part is about being the light. And then the second part of that is about illuminating a path for others. And this is the part that I just thought was so cool. I thought it was so cool because we can focus on becoming our best selves for us. And I think we should focus on becoming ourselves for us, not for anyone else, but because we deserve to experience the magic of this world. We deserve to experience ourselves. And as we do that, we're lifting up everyone around us. We're illuminating this path that a lot of people are not awakened to. A lot of people right now can't even see it. You can be this light illuminating possibility for everyone you cross paths with, for everyone in your life. And you don't have to teach them anything. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be yourself. You just have to lean into your soul more. You just have to allow yourself to love yourself and walk through life with that beautiful confidence of knowing who you are. And as you do that, it is not just a gift to yourself, it is a gift to the world. It is a gift to everyone around you, to everyone you're in a relationship, and honestly, everyone you're not in a relationship, anyone who sees you existing in the world. You're a gift to them when you allow yourself to be loved, when you allow yourself to be your full true self, when you allow yourself to explore your wants, your needs, your desires, when you allow yourself to feel your feelings and to truly, radically accept who you are and who you want to be. When you're shining your light, living as your truest self, it not only means that you are experiencing your best reality, but it also means that you're lighting the way for others to do the same. You're showing them a path that they may not have been aware of. How incredible is that? Just by being yourself, you become a leader of light. You become a leader in your family. Simply by being yourself, by understanding yourself deeper and standing in your truth, standing in your experience, you become this beacon of light. It is beautiful, it is magical, and it is something that you can do for yourself and for the world. But don't feel the pressure of doing it for the world, okay? Let's take that back a minute. That is just an incredible byproduct of living life for yourself as yourself and knowing yourself deeply and loving yourself more. It's just an incredible, beautiful, magical byproduct of being you. And you're the only you there is. You're important. It is so important. So I just really want to impress on you that the best thing you can do in any relationship is to love and care for yourself deeply. Deeply. Doing that, expressing that within yourself, that unconditional love, that unconditional acceptance, that grace when you do something that kind of makes you cringe, giving yourself grace in those moments, loving yourself, taking the time to do the things that are important to you, not pushing them off to the side, not putting it on the back burner for later, not putting everyone else's needs before yours, but actually stepping forward to care and love for yourself. Doing that is the greatest gift you can give anyone. And you're doing it for yourself, but it is a gift for them too. It is showing them how they can live a more full, beautiful life. If you're living your life feeling full of love, don't you want those around you to feel that too? As I've leaned more into knowing myself, loving myself, caring for myself, like my life feels amazing. And not a lot has really changed externally. Not much has changed externally. In fact, like if anything, I'd say there are more external stresses in my life now than when I started going through this spiritual journey. And yet, I am so happy. I am so happy because I know myself and I have learned, and it's not easy, but I've learned to start taking time and caring for myself, taking up the space that I need. And doing so, it seems counterproductive to my relationships. Like when I tell my husband, like when I told him I need to hire a babysitter because I need some space, I need some time for myself. Like I am really, really struggling and I need to take better care of myself. So I need to hire a babysitter. That kind of felt counterproductive. Like, okay, I'm going to be spending more money. I should be able to take care of the kids myself. I shouldn't ask him for things. All of those things came into my mind. But when I finally told him that, when I finally hired the sitter, when I finally took the time for myself, oh my gosh, it's like the greatest relief I've ever had. I am so much happier. And because I am happier, I'm able to give more to myself, but I'm also able to give more to him. I'm able to give more in our relationship. Our relationship is so much better now that I have allowed myself to be taken care of. Now that I have started doing the work to love myself and to learn to ask for what I need. And it's not just the relationship with my husband, it's the relationship with my children by letting them know that I'm a person too and I need space as much as they can understand it. And it's just made me able to be more patient with them. I'm able to be less stressed out, so much less stressed out, because I have learned to love myself, because I have learned to take time for myself. It has had this incredible impact on my relationships with my husband, with my kids, with everyone, with how I walk through the world. I am so much more relaxed. I used to be this huge stress ball, and I'm not. I get stressed sometimes, but it is not so intense. And it's incredible. And this feeling that I've cultivated within myself is what I want so deeply for everyone around me, for everyone, because it is life changing, absolutely life changing. I was not satisfied in my life before. I wasn't. I was so discontent. And the reality is, not very much has changed in my life. And yet, my feelings towards myself, towards other people, towards my life have dramatically changed because I decided to love myself. I decided to do the work to see who I truly am and start allowing my soul to shine through. It's so important. It's so important. And so we're talking about our relationship with ourselves, but that relationship affects every relationship in your life. Oh, that was just a lot. I hope you heard me through all of that. I just feel so passionately about how important it is to start loving yourself more. And by doing so, you're going to become a better partner. You're going to become a better parent. You're going to become a better friend. You're going to become a better citizen, a better freaking human being by being that love. It's inevitable. The way to improve the relationships in your life is to improve your relationship with yourself. That is where it starts. There is no other way. My dear friend, I really do hope that this episode has been impactful for you. I hope that it has spoke to your heart. Like I said, that is my intention always, is to help ignite that spark within your heart. I hope that I have inspired you to start taking some actions towards more self-love. I hope that I've shown you that the best way to improve your relationships with others is to improve your relationship with yourself. Let yourself feel the joy that you want to feel. Let yourself do the things that you want to do. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. Not only is it your birthright to be happy, that's what your soul wants for you, but it is an incredible act of service to those around you to start taking care of yourself, to start loving yourself more, allowing yourself to feel more joy. There is no greater gift that you can give to your partner, your children, your friends, the world around you. Thank you so much for listening today, and I cannot wait to talk with you again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Suddenly Spiritual podcast. I'm so grateful that I get to be part of your journey of spiritual expansion. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave a review for me on Apple Podcasts. It's a quick, free, easy way for you to support this podcast, and it helps me reach more people who are looking for support on their spiritual journey. You can find a link to leave a review in the show notes. Thank you so much, and I'll chat with you soon.